So, we are just one day away from the World Cup. Yes, it is hard to believe. For the first time in 8 years, we are having a World Cup held in the summer. Little 9-year-old mini me, can't wait for this because the first World Cup I watched was during the summer, and of course 2022 happened, and of course that was as great as you could possibly imagine. But again, it was during school year, winter time, so really it wasn't really a full-fledged experience. But now here we are, we're back, and man, quick, me wants quick. I just want to say this about 2018 World Cup is that is, I mean, that was the first soccer event that I really got into, really ever got into. And like really the only player that I remember really liking from that was Kylian Mbappe, and I think I knew a little bit of Paul Pogba after that as well. So like Kylian Mbappe became my GOAT after that. Like he's my GOAT. Full fledged, honestly. Now of course I like Messi. I'm not the biggest fan of Ronaldo. Nothing of that really matters because World Cup, the 2026 World Cup is going to start tomorrow, and I just want to go over the groups here, which first, Group A, Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, and Czechia. If this isn't a group where Mexico doesn't win, then I don't know how. I don't know how they blow this, but I think teams like South Korea, South Africa, and Czechia, teams I really don't know much about. I mean, Japan made a run in the last World Cup, so maybe South Korea can make a run. You never know. I think South Korea beat Germany in 2018 in the group stage and knocking them out. So, South Korea, they could make a run for it. South Africa, they could make a run. Any of these teams can genuinely make a run. We're just going to have to see through it, though. Then Group B, Canada, Bosnia slash Herzegovina, which country I had never heard before in my life, but they beat Italy to qualify for the World Cup, making Italy like the first team ever to produce World Cup kits and not get in the actual World Cup. Funny stuff, I know. And then Qatar and Switzerland. Again, this is a very interesting group besides Qatar, which Qatar. Remember that 2022 World Cup campaign? They were terrible. Awful. How the hell did they get it again? I guess the FIFA bucks really were something because I don't know how they got back in here. I really don't know. But, this is a really interesting camp. Bosnia wholeheartedly is the underdog and a very rootable underdog. Could they make a great performance to move themselves up to the round of 32? We're going to see. We'll see. And, Switzerland, of course, European team, could they make a run? Canada, can they make finally a run? We'll see. And Group C, which I will say is a very interesting group because it has Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, Scotland. Brazil, of course, trying to get that World Cup. Neymar's trying to get that World Cup. This is his last one, pretty much. This is his last chance. They went out in flames because they lost to Croatia in the round of 16, I believe, due to penalties. So they're trying to right their wrongs. They're trying to get that World Cup because it really hasn't been a good stretch from them. From 2014, 2018, 2022, nothing has really gotten to Brazil's way. And we'll see if they can finally do it in Morocco, which first and foremost, fuck Morocco's team and fuck their government. I'm saying that wholeheartedly. If you watch the AFCON final, you know. If you know, you know. So, I don't really expect much. Haiti being in the World Cup is funny given our president's description of them, which we will not believe. But Haiti, they joined like their first. This is either their first World Cup ever or their first World Cup in a long time. Regardless, good for them. They could possibly make a run if they have all that heart. And for sure going to think that this will be an entertaining team to watch, but we'll see. Scotland also making their first World Cup in a very long time. We'll see if they can make a run as well. And Group D, United States, Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. Listen, FIFA literally looked at the World Cup. They literally looked at the teams that were hosting the World Cup and were like, we're going to give you the easiest group possible. And if you fuck it up, that's on y'all. And basically, the United States gets like the best example of that. But could they fuck it up? I do think that we'll at least make it past the group stage. But after that, it's not going to look good to them. I'm not like thinking to myself, this team actually has a shot. This team can't win the championship. Like, I'm not going to get my hopes up for like the United States winning the fucking World Cup. All right? I'm not getting my hopes up for that. I'm just not. So I think the United States can get past the group round. We'll see what Paraguay, Australia, Turkey can do in this group. And then Group E, Germany, Curacao, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador. Now, if Germany, again, becomes another group exit, like, I would be stunned. I would be shocked. Because I swear to God, you have a Caribbean team in the Curacao. You have an Upper European team in Ivory Coast, and you have South African. You have a South American team, Ecuador. Like, if Germany doesn't make it out of the group stage at least, then I don't know what to say. I'd be stunned if that were to happen. But listen, we'll see if Curacao, Ivory Coast can have some heart, and I'm sure Ecuador's going to put up a good fight. And we'll see. This is a really intriguing group simply because can Germany just fuck it all up? And if they were to, it would be absolutely hilarious, and they would be the laughing stock of the entire world. And then Group F, we have Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, and Tunisia. Another interesting group, which, I mean, I think Netherlands and Japan will move on wholeheartedly from this group. It's just depends on Sweden and Tunisia. I feel like that's going to be an interesting dynamic, and I feel like this is going to be an interesting group. Then we got Group G, Belgium, Egypt, Iran, New Zealand. This is just like Germany. This is Belgium's group to lose. If they don't make it out of this group, they're going to be a laughing stock too, but I believe they should. And the most interesting and funny thing about this group is that Egypt and Iran are going to play in Seattle for their last World Cup game, and it's literally going to be during Pride Night. And Middle Eastern countries' views on the LGBTQ community. Masterful troll job by Seattle, by the way. And then we have Group H, Spain, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, Uruguay. Just like Haiti, this is what I believe to be their first World Cup, if I'm mistakenly wrong. And again, this is a really interesting dynamic because, Spain is, of course, Spain. It's Spain. Do I need to go any further? Cape Verde going to their first World Cup. Saudi Arabia, they beat Argentina in the last World Cup, so anything is possible. They could give Spain and Uruguay a run for their money, and Uruguay, of course. Uruguay's been solid, but have never really made it to the World Cup and never made it to like the grander World Cup stage as such, like the final, semifinals in a very wild time. So this will be a very intriguing group, and probably the most intriguing group of this whole list. In Group I, France, Senegal, Iraq, and Norway. Talk about a group, man. Talk about a group. I mean, Erling Haaland and Kylian Mbappe, that's going to be a hell of a matchup. You got Senegal in there, who's always going to bring in the fight, and Iraq here kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. But I believe Iraq is going to have some heart in this. We're going to see what they do. And in Group J, we have Argentina, Algeria, Austria, Jordan. Why was this not made Group A? I don't know, but this is Argentina's group to lose. It's going to be interesting what happens between Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. Then Group K, Portugal, the Congo DR, Uzbekistan, and Colombia. What sucks about, our administration is that they're not allowing the Congo DR to be in the World Cup, which there's one of these people who impersonates and just stands, just salutes for the whole game. And that sucks. And this is Portugal's group to lose really much. And yeah. And last and foremost, we have Group L. So England, Croatia, Ghana, Panama. England, Croatia are obviously the favorites. We'll see what Ghana and Panama can do at the bottom of the barrel. So here's the thing, of course, positions 1 and 2 advance to the rounds of 32. And here's the interesting part. The position 3, the best 8 of the 12 groups advance. And position 4, of course, is eliminated. So best 8 advance on 3rd place. So surely there won't be any controversy, right? Right? But yeah, World Cup's going to be tomorrow. Can't wait for it. I'll talk to y'all after the first 2 matches about it. Appreciate it. Talk to y'all later.